I love this time of year. October is probably one of my top 12 months of the year. And it just, all the sights and smells. You got the crisp leaves crunching against your feet. The breeze, the fall. You know that fall breeze that you smell? Burning leaves. Yes, you're not supposed to burn leaves, though. That's actually illegal if you didn't know. But it also marks Halloween. Halloween is it's that one time of the year that everyone wants to be scared. Everyone takes their phobias and turns it into something fun. Why? How the fuck should I know? I hate that. I do not want to see a giant spider crawling. Oh, fuck no. I hate my imagination. I just imagined spiders crawling all around me. I hate that kind of stuff. I really do. But for some reason, people love it. We look at scary shit all the time. It's some sort of primal urge, a reverse primal urge, where you try and embrace what scares you to make it entertaining. Why would you do that? And in this scary cacophony of a season, we have horror television shows. That's right. Well, not horror itself. More like frightening thrillers. TV embraces the fact that we want to be scared. Movies, full of it. And once you find that one show that really frightens you, probably as a kid, most likely you're going to find that one show when you're a kid, even if it's not scary. I still think Goosebumps is fucking terrifying. I can't. When I was a kid, I couldn't even look at a Goosebumps cover, book cover. It just scared me. Granted, it was beautiful artwork. Nowadays I think of those as they looked fantastic. All the shiny bits, because you had the paperback and then you had that little bump out with the shininess. That was always there, and it freaked me out as a kid. Not the shiny bit though, but the severed hand or purple goo thing. No, not purple, it was orange. It was orange that was goo. Crawling down the stairs and the ventriloquist, oh no, the episode of R.L. Stine's The Nightmare Room, or Goosebumps television show, whichever one. Ventriloquist dummies are probably some of the scariest things you can make in a good television show. You just have the dolls just sitting here, not moving, and then you turn your back, and it turns to look at you. It's fucking terrifying in the right mood. And that's a kid's show. Goosebumps was a kid's show, and that was scary. To think that R.L. Stine is a masterful, or was a masterful, I don't know if he's dead or not. If he's dead, he's probably yucking it up with all the other ghosts and the goblins. Good for you, too. Now, for a kid's show, that's pretty entertaining, and actually it's a little scary, too, if you have the right circumstances of lights out, you got the kids watching, and then you scare them from behind with the white sheet, and it's fun. I'm gonna do that with my kid one day. They're gonna hate me. She's gonna hate me. I'm not gonna have more than one kid. I'm not crazy. Well, I am. But let's move on. Scary is what we're here for today. And I've got a couple scary shows for you. Scary as hell. Now, to start off, let's talk about what we usually do on Halloween. What do we usually do? Well, there's three. Three things that people usually do. When you're a kid, you go out trick-or-treating. You get your costumes, parents have to tag along, because that's not safe. Kids, remember, razor blades and apples, that was a thing back in the day. And you just enjoy the moment. If you're a kid, you get candy for free. What's not to love? Now, growing up, though, it gets a little harder to trick-or-treat. Granted, you can go out by yourself. That's kind of preteen-esque stuff. You go out by yourself with your friends, go trick-or-treating. That's fun for a little while, but then you just, grow out of it. I've grown out of it, sadly enough. Not the candy part, though. I just buy bags of candy and eat them willy-nilly, because I'm an adult, and that's what you do. But then you go out to parties, You go to Halloween parties and stuff, and that's usually fun. Not that I was invited to any. I was never invited to parties. I would have carried all over the place, though, if that happened. If you don't know what that if you don't get the reference, look it up. It's a fantastic movie, and the old one was good. I never saw most of it, but Carrie is a fantastic movie. I really want to see the remake. I really hope they did it well. But now we're adults. And we just hang around the house and give out candy. That's kind of boring. Especially if it's boring and then you start eating your own candy, and that's never good. So what do? We watch television, watch television, not play games. Because if you play games, you have to get up every time, you have to pause the game. It's actually not a good thing to do. But if you're watching television or movies, that's a fucking awesome thing to do. You sit down for your horror movie marathon. B movies are most likely the pick of the litter. And you just sit down, dark room, you get a bowl of candy or popcorn or whatever. Candy corn! Don't get candy corn. There's theory that it's just reused every year because no one eats it. It's a pretty sound theory. So my job here today is to tell you some scary television shows or movies. Yes, I will delve a little bit into movies today, to recommend to watch on your movie marathon of fear. Most of them are going to be a little funny, a lot of them are going to be a little freaky, and hopefully you don't shit your pants or pee anything, because then when the doorbell rings, you have to present yourself like that. That's not fun. So let's start off with the kids stuff. Yes, the kids might be away, but you still like to watch some stuff too, right? Now, this one is more of a teen show, I will grant you. Kids, although, will enjoy it. It's just the right amount of scary for kids, and it's definitely a good amount of funny too. It mixes very well. It was a Canada-based show. It was made in Canada. There actually are a few good shows that come from Canada that are brought. That's going to become my final episode of Channel Surfing, if you didn't know that. That's an awesome show. But we're talking about that sick. It was called Martin Mystery. Martin Mystery was a mix of American art style plus a little bit of Japanese style. Take a little bit of kind of mythos, crypto-esque stuff. Take that, you throw it into that. You have a corporation of Monster Hunter kind of people where they go out, solve problems where scary things have happened, and hilarity ensues, and drama ensues. It actually has some pretty good action moments to boot. And I think as a show goes, it's probably a really damn good one. It lasted a really long time. I think it's like 60, maybe 70 episodes? It's probably around 70 episodes, I believe. And I think it's a good thing to watch. If you're in the mood for watching something scary, but also something funny, it's definitely something to take a look at. Of course, there are plenty great horror movies out there. You got your Friday the 13th and Jason film. No, wait, Jason and Friday the 13th are the same thing. Nightmare on Elm Street. That's the Freddy Krueger. That's the one I'm looking for. Freddy and Jason, phenomenal ones. Don't watch movie 2. Don't. It's supposed to be the worst one out of the group. And great stuff on that for the horror front. If you want to go funny, though, I would recommend Young Frankenstein, but you can say Young Frankenstein, too, because that's what it does. Mel Brooks, fantastic comedy writer. Great stuff. It's a fantastic movie, and if you're a fan of Frankenstein or anything along that lines, it's a definite movie to watch if you want to laugh. There's also Abbott and Costello. This one is probably, well, these movies. There is Abbott and Costello meet the Mummy, the Werewolf, the Frankenstein. Abbott and Costello are, when I was a kid, me and my mom and my sister would sit on the couch, like, when we're done with Halloween. I think it was either when we were done with Halloween, when we were done with the candy getting, or before we went out during the day, because we had the day off. No, we had a half day because school let out early because of that. which was fantastic, by the way. That was a fantastic moment in my life. And then we'd watch Abbott and Costello movies, or Young Frankenstein. Frankenstein. We'd watch the Abbott and Costello stuff, and I'm actually a really big fan of Abbott and Costello. Black and white television. Referencing back to the Who's Line episode, they are the people that did Who's On First. Fantastic comedy. And actually, I can recommend any of the Abbott and Costello movies. They're fantastic. But if you want to see the horror stuff, it meets the vampire, meets the werewolf, meets the mummy, and then meets Frankenstein. Those three are the Halloween movies to watch. But what I really think you will enjoy is the scary stuff. Am I wrong? I'm probably not wrong. You're gonna have to bear with me for a moment, though, because a lot of the stuff I want to tell you about is a little still scary for me. Even though I'm 22. I'm fucking 22. And I still get scared of X-Files. It freaks me out every single time. I mean, I'm not as scared as I used to be. Granted, when I was a kid, I saw episodes of X-Files, and I was hiding behind the couch half the time. And even that didn't help me, because my mind was racing with all the, oh my god, there's like this fungus growing on people, growing inside people, and then it starts bubbling off on you, and then it explodes and spews spores everywhere. And then I'm just hiding behind the couch, nose up like this, and I'm thinking to myself, that's a little too real. It still scares me the fuck out. I can't watch an episode of X-Files. I really can't. I'm gonna have a very hard time trying to find that clip too. Two other classics, I will admit, are The Twilight Zone. That one is a very old show, black and white stuff. William Shatner has one of the best lines. There's a creature on the wing. I think that's what it was. And then ascending from that was The Outer Limits. That one was more, well, in its time, a modern-day Twilight Zone. It still had some freaky stuff in it, too. I can remember a few episodes, but not very well. It had its moments of greatness. It had its moments of okayness. But all in all, Twilight Zone and Outer Limits, I think, grew great together for like a marathon kind of thing. You interchange them, and you got yourself a great night. There was also this one show, it was called Fear Itself. That one it wasn't good. It was okay, though. There were a couple episodes that were not bad. The zombie episode in particular, I think, was probably the best one of them. Only because I like that kind of ending. The show was based off of just hour-long episodes. It was basically a B movie, one of those scary B-rated movies, just condensed into 1 hour. And it had its little twists and turns and its frightening moments, granted, but the majority of them weren't that good. But I would still recommend checking it out. It had its moments. And let's not forget, well, the final thing that I will tell you right now, and this is pretty much the reason why I'm doing a Halloween special, actually. This TV show, it's probably one of my favorite TV shows ever. Even though it's a scary thing. It mixes all the things I really like in a television show, and some other things that I didn't quite think I would like, but I really think I liked. If you are a fan of those Paranormal Witness movies, I can't remember the names, but the Paranormal? The fuck was that? Paranormal things, where it's like based off of true events kind of stuff, like, and then there's hidden cameras all over the place, photoing that kind of stuff. Kind of take that element of it. And then, like I said before, in the previous episode of Hinting, Cloverfield. Cloverfield probably cinches this thing to a T. If you've seen Cloverfield and you love Cloverfield, you will love Lost Tapes. Lost Tapes is one of those shows that takes itself seriously and not quite seriously at the same time, taking inspiration from cryptids and mythos and just taking that and then putting it in real life, kind of real life situation scenarios. And it makes things seem a little freaky. You know how I said where I thought X-Files was a little too real for me? Turn that to 100 on Lost Tapes, because it actually seems real. If you show this to someone who has no fucking clue that these are fake, they're fake, trust me, they're very fake. But if they have no clue about this, they will shit themselves. I will fucking guarantee you. The zombie episode is one of the best episodes ever. Again, zombies. Ooh, I'm a little zombie fatigued, by the way. Walking Dead is not one of my favorite shows ever, but I will admit, this one episode in Season 3, the zombie episode, was amazing. It was so amazingly good.
Oh, Jesus. Tanner, where's that backup?
Others to note were the vampire episode. There are multiple episodes of vampires, because there are more than one type of vampire, if you didn't know. I didn't. But I think it was in Season 1. The Season 1 episode with the vampire and the house, living in the house. That one was also a bit scary. That one had its great moments. And I have to say, my favorite, for comedy's sake, dark comedy, not like haha, but dark comedy was probably the Hellhounds. I loved that one. That one was probably the best one from the Season 2. And the vampire was from Season 1, Hellhounds from Season 2, and then the zombie one from Season 3. Basically, oh no! We also have the Bigfoot episode from Season 1. That one was actually more story-driven. I liked that one a lot. All of them have stories in them. It's like one half-hour story, kind of following the misadventures of someone stupid enough to be going into some place that you're not supposed to be going, or a group of people, or something. And the actors are actually really good. I will admit, those actors are really good, making it seem like it's actually really happening to them. The camera work is fantastic. The way they film it is just phenomenal, and I really like it. Again, Cloverfield takes this, Cloverfield. There's just something about having a handheld camera feel to it. It's like watching a home movie. That's fucking terrifying. Also, on the list of things, it also kind of cuts up those dramatic moments with facts. It takes specialists from cryptozoologists, and yes, there are actually people that study cryptids or cryptozoology that are. If I never did this, or if I had learned earlier, I would be doing cryptozoology. I literally would. I love mythical creatures and creatures that should exist, that should not exist. I just love that kind of line of work, and I think that would be fantastic to learn. But they're also kind of segmented in with the other storylines. It kind of takes up a lot of the good moments. It kind of breaks up the tension a tiny bit. Because if they didn't do this, of course, it would only be 15 minutes long, whereas they want to stretch the entire half-hour mark. It's jotted in there, and it fits out really nicely. They edit it up really well, give you some really nice facts about this episode's creature, and you learn a lot. You surprisingly learn a lot from the show. Knowing my television, I know that this isn't done. There are going to be plenty other episodes, many other television shows that are going to freak people out. There are probably, I actually think, Helix? I think that's what it's called. 2014 on the Sci-Fi Channel, that's coming up. it seems like it's going to be a horror thing. I think. Oh, and speaking of Sci-Fi Channel, Haven. Haven's a good one. The first couple seasons, actually, are good. Nowadays, it's, a little not. But it's choice of preference. It's a little scary. But, anyway, let's wrap this up. So, yeah, anything I've recommended to you today is definitely something to add to the list of horror movie marathon. Or horror television show marathon. Definitely think of that. Go to a wiki if you want to pick and choose certain episodes. Is actually something I would recommend, because if you're not interested in the minor for Lost Tapes, there are minor cryptids that are in there. There's a Briar Road. No, the Jersey Devil. That one was okay. But the ones I've mentioned are probably great ones to look for. They're fantastic shows, all of them except Fear Itself, and I definitely suggest you go and watch them. Moving on to next week, we will give you a small hint about next week's show. Next week's November. Yeah, it's the first day of November technically, and in being so, Thanksgiving's coming up. And I think I want to give all of you a little bit of a taste of what one of the greatest food shows ever will be. It's a fantastic show, and I hope to get you guys ready to make Thanksgiving dinners and meals for your family and friends. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. And until next time, continue channel surfing.